In this video, I'm going to show you how to free motion quilt Clover. One of the tools for beginners for free motion quilting I recommend is a friction pen. The friction pen erases away with heat, so once you put an iron on it, the markings that you put on your quilt will disappear. What I am marking on today is a project that I did in the video before this. It is a St. Patrick's Day placemat. So obviously doing some free motion quilting clover work on here is going to look awesome for St. Patrick's Day. So let's get to it. Let's do some free motion quilting clovers. The best way to think of a clover is think about hearts. So I am going to draw, but don't do a definition too defined in the middle. So I'll show you. So see how this kind of looks like a heart? And then I'm just going to turn it around. And I'm going to do another one. And I'm going to go back around here. Do you see how they kind of like look like hearts? And then I am going to do two tails that come off here like this. And I'm going to draw my next clover. So I'm going to do a heart. I find spinning it around much better because I find that I can draw better one way than another way. And then just do some tails. And I'm just going to keep doing that all over my St. Patrick's Day placemat. And we're basically drawing the pattern for our free motion quilting. This is a perfect way for beginners to learn free motion quilting. So this is basically my template or my guidelines for my free motion quilting. We're not worried about actually going on top of the lines perfectly. They're just our guidelines. So if we struggle to do free motion quilting, like with nothing there, then this is the perfect way of doing it. So this is my Baby Block Soprano. I am not paid nor sponsored to create this video. Let's get set up all for the free motion quilting on this machine. Because we are free motion quilting clovers, let's put some green thread in our machine. My Baby Block Soprano has an automatic threader, so we're going to thread the needle. There we go, it's all done. Whenever I do free motion quilting, I always match the thread with the top thread. So if I have green on the top, I'm going to have green in my bobbin. And then just put the plastic cap back on. When we do free motion quilting, we have to drop the feed dogs, and in order to do that, we pull this off. Then this dial here at the back, we just move it back so it drops these feed dogs here. The Baby Block Soprano does come with a quilting table, so I replace it with the quilting table. Then I changed my foot out to the open toe free motion quilting foot. I do have my quilting gloves on. They're a little bit used, as you can see. They were white when I first got them, and they have some grips on them which help to make free motion quilting much more easier to glide. I get asked what stitch length I used, and I don't use a stitch length, and that's because we've dropped our feed dogs. So the stitch length is actually controlled by you when you're free motion quilting, so that's why you've got to control the movement of the needle going up and down and you moving the fabric, and it's going to take some practice. So let's get going on this free motion clover work. Okay, so I'm going to start right here in the actual ditch of this green section, and then I am going to ribbon out and I'm going to find this first tail of this clover. Here we go. And now what we're going to do is trace around our work. So don't forget, you can move your fabric whichever way. So if you find it easier going one way, then just move your fabric. So we are going to stitch. And don't worry about being perfectly on the line. And then we're going to fan back out. Now what I'm going to do is just do some squiggly lines in all of this negative space here, and then we're going to meet back up to our next clover. Here we go. And then we are just going to trace around this particular clover. And then just do some squiggly lines. And then meet up to the next clover. Now if you're finding that you're getting some eyelashes when you are going around corners, because eyelashes happen when you go around corners, you are going too fast around the corners, so you need to slow down. So you need to try your free motion stitching on different speeds and find out what is the most comfortable for you. And don't forget, you can move this fabric around. It's very easy to move. You'll have your needle in the down position. Make sure it's always in the down position when you are free motion quilting. And let's do another clover. And I'm just going to turn this around. And then you just continue on and you just do more squiggles. Find the next clover and then trace around. So I'm going to continue on and complete all of this and we can see what it looks like. Now I've done this section here and I'm just going to show you some simple ways to fill in this section here. Sometimes the problem with free motion quilting is you really don't know what design to put where, and all I'm going to do is just do a squiggle up and a down, and I'll show you what I'm doing. So I'm going to go up and I'm going to go down, and I'm just going to squiggle up and down. Just need to move this out of the way. This is a great way to learn free motion quilting in a small space like this, and you have a line and then you just go up and down. It's just a really, really small space. Here I'm just going to do some wavy lines all the way up and down. And then when it comes to the top, I'm just going to go all the way back down. And then I'm just going to go across and go up. And I'm just going to go across and go back down. You get the idea. And this is what we've got so far. How cool is that? If you are following along with the placemat, please have a look at my previous video and you'll see what this looks like all complete. But this is how to do free motion quilting clovers. Now don't forget, we still have the markings on here, so I just want to press them out. So you're just going to get your iron and it's going to be hot, and we are just going to iron out those markings. So they basically disappear and you are just left with the stitching. Isn't this an amazing way to learn how to free motion quilt? I have lots of videos on my channel, so be sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.